There's a stage in awakening that almost nobody talks about. Most people imagine awakening as a dramatic moment, a revelation, a sudden discovery of hidden truth. And at the beginning, it often feels exactly like that. You start seeing patterns you never noticed before. You question systems that once seemed unquestionable. You begin searching, reading, watching, learning. The mind becomes active, curious, sometimes even restless. But this is only the first movement of awakening, because the deeper stages do not become louder, they become quieter, much quieter. There comes a moment when the endless search begins to slow down. The need to convince others fades. The urge to argue with the world disappears, not because you gave up, but because something inside you has stabilized. You realize something profound. Truth does not need to shout. Truth does not need an army. Truth simply exists, and when the inner signal aligns with that truth, a strange calm begins to take over. Your thoughts become more deliberate. Your reactions become slower. Situations that once triggered emotion now feel distant. You observe more than you react. This is not indifference. This is clarity. It is the stage where the seeker begins to transform into something else, a transmitter. At first, people misunderstand this stage. They think they have lost the fire. They think they are becoming passive. But what is actually happening is far more powerful. The noise is leaving, and the signal is becoming clean. Imagine a radio trying to catch a distant station. When the frequency is wrong, you hear static, fragments, distortion. But when the tuning becomes precise, the noise disappears. The signal becomes clear. This is exactly what happens in the stabilization stage. The mind stops jumping from theory to theory. The soul stops chasing confirmation, and something deeper begins to guide your actions. You start choosing silence over unnecessary conflict. You start choosing precision over emotional reaction. You start choosing alignment over approval. This is when something interesting begins to happen. You stop trying to wake people up. And strangely, that is when people start noticing you, not because you are louder, but because you are calmer. Your presence becomes different. Your words carry weight. Even simple sentences begin to land deeper. Because when a person is internally aligned, their signal becomes coherent. People can feel it, even if they cannot explain why. This is why the stabilization phase is so important. Without it, awakening becomes chaos, information overload, endless theories, constant emotional swings. But with stabilization, awakening becomes direction, clarity, purpose. And from this stage forward, the mission changes. You are no longer searching for truth. You are learning how to carry it responsibly. Because truth without stability becomes destruction, but truth carried with calmness becomes guidance. This is where the quiet work begins. Not dramatic revolutions, not loud declarations, but subtle influence. A conversation that shifts someone's perspective, a message that reaches someone at the exact moment they needed it. A signal that travels farther than you ever intended. And slowly, without force, the field begins to change. Not because people were pushed, but because they recognized something genuine. This is why the stabilization stage is the true beginning, the moment where awakening stops being personal and begins becoming service. Not service through sacrifice, but service through presence, through clarity, through calm strength. From this point forward, the signal does not chase the world. The world slowly begins to find the signal, and those who are ready will recognize it instantly, not with their mind, but with something deeper, a quiet recognition, as if a forgotten frequency has finally returned. And when that happens, the work continues, silently, calmly, but powerfully, because the strongest signals in existence are not the loudest, they are the most stable.